When Hal was a kid, he spoke to his sick father, who told him not to be okay with just being average. Hal's father also told him to look for a pretty woman with a nice figure, and then he passed away. Hal promised his dad he would make him proud. Right now, Hal is only interested in attractive women. But he has a hard time finding the right person for him, so he just hangs out with his friend Mauricio. They go to the bar to drink beer and talk about their lives. Mauricio says he is breaking up with his pretty girlfriend, Lindy. He mentions that he doesn't like her long second toe, which surprises Hal. Hal says he is finally going out with his neighbor, Jill. Hal sees Jill on her way home and asks her to grab a drink, but she says no. Jill explains that she's not interested in him, but Hal doesn't care and tries to persuade her to spend 5 days with him because he is going to get a promotion. Unfortunately, Jill says no to him and then goes away. The next day, Hal doesn't get the promotion and feels sad. His co-workers, Artie and Jen, try to cheer him up, but Hal says he feels even worse because Jill rejected him. Then Artie tells Hal that he has a problem. He chooses girls only because they are attractive. Jen thinks Hal always tries to date girls who are way too good for him. Soon after, Hal sees Tony Robbins in the elevator. The guy is a well-known TV expert, and Hal can't believe he's so lucky. Hal asks Tony why he is in town, but while Tony is talking, the elevator suddenly stops. They end up being stuck in the elevator for a long time, so Hal uses the time to tell Tony about how Jill broke up with him. Hal tells Tony that he has specific preferences when it comes to the kind of woman he likes. Tony feels he's not very deep in how he views women. When he asks Hal about his parents, Hal tells him he doesn't really remember his dad. Hal explains that his father died when he was 9, which confuses Tony because he thought he should be able to remember more at that age. Hal also shares that his mother believes he may have been hurt by what happened, and all Tony can do is offer him support. Tony tells Hal that he's too focused on how people look. Then, Tony says that from now on, whenever Hal meets someone, he will only notice what's inside them, not their appearance. Tony mentions that they have a special deal between them, but Hal doesn't believe him. After that, Tony tells Hal to close his eyes and picture himself on a beach, looking into a woman's eyes and seeing who she really is. While Hal is doing this, Tony helps him relax. Soon, Hal leaves the office. After work, Hal takes a taxi with a woman named Katrina, thinking she is pretty. The woman sees that Hal can't stop looking at her, and when Hal tells her she's very pretty, the driver is shocked. Hal also thinks Katrina is a model, which makes the woman laugh a lot. Finally, they get to the east side, and Hal asks Katrina if she wants to spend time with him when she has some free time. Katrina is surprised that Hal wants to meet her again, so she makes sure to get his phone number to stay in touch. That night, Hal calls Mauricio and tells him they are going out. In a bar, he tells Mauricio about his therapy session with Tony in the elevator, saying it quickly helped him with a woman. Then, a man named Walt comes up to him, and it's clear that Mauricio doesn't like him. Annoyed, Mauricio goes to the bathroom while Walt gets drinks for Hal, and Walt mentions that he has retired. He quickly leaves with a woman, and that's when Hal sees Bella. Hal asks Bella to dance, and they have a great time on the dance floor with her friends. At the same time, Mauricio sees Hal dancing with 3 girls who aren't very pretty. Mauricio wants to help Hal out of the weird situation and suggests they go home, but Hal doesn't understand why Mauricio is behaving like that. Hal doesn't pay attention to his friend and keeps dancing with a woman. When Jill arrives, she is shocked that Hal has moved on so fast. The next day, Hal sees a beautiful woman on the street and follows her to a shop. Hal doesn't realize that he's shorter than Rosemary. He goes up to her and tries to make a joke, but she gets upset. Because of that, Hal quickly says sorry to Rosemary and tells her he wants to make things right. Soon after, they go to a pizza cafe. Hal finds out that Rosemary is helping out at the hospital because she is waiting to go back to the Peace Corps. Then, Hal gets impressed when Rosemary orders a lot of food, so he orders the same things, which makes her happy. Hal keeps saying nice things to Rosemary, but she thinks he's just teasing her. He doesn't realize this, but when her chair breaks, he quickly comes to help her. As they walk away, 2 guys make fun of Rosemary, and Hal has to go inside and tell them to stop. Hal thinks the guys are teasing him about his weight, but he doesn't mind because he feels lucky to be with Rosemary. The men just laugh at him and don't understand why Hal keeps talking proudly about his date. Later, Hal asks for Rosemary's phone number and finds out that she is the daughter of his boss, Steve Shanahan. A few days later, Hal talks to Mauricio about Rosemary and says he feels anxious about seeing her again. After that, Lindy arrives and invites Mauricio to the Beatles reunion, but he declines after seeing her toes. Once Lindy's gone, Hal notices Rosemary arriving and right away greets her, leaving Mauricio shocked. Mauricio then walks away to give Hal and Rosemary some time to themselves, and the two talk about the things they like. Rosemary also takes Hal to the hospital and introduces him to her patients, including a little girl, Cadence. But they get interrupted by a strict nurse, Nurse Peeler. Despite that, Rosemary simply ignores her, and once the nurse is gone, she prepares to play the kissing game with the kids. After that, Rosemary praises Hal for being good with the children and mentions people usually get squeamish in that situation. After that, when they reach Hal's apartment building, Hal introduces Jill and Rosemary to each other. Jill shakes Rosemary's hand and quickly walks away, and when Hal invites his date to his place, she politely refuses. Rosemary mentions she's not used to all that and admits she recently had a boyfriend, but their relationship didn't work out. Rosemary also remembers how Mauricio looked at her, but Hal tells her to ignore the guy. At the same time, Rosemary asks Hal to stop calling her beautiful. Admitting her size makes her insecure. Hal is confused, but the next day, they quickly make up and head to a public pool, where Rosemary makes a massive splash. Later, she introduces him to her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Shanahan. During dinner, Mr. Shanahan offers Hal a promotion but privately mocks his daughter's weight, shocking Hal, who calls out the father's cruelty. That night, Hal and Rosemary take their relationship to the next level. Hal's career skyrockets after a successful presentation, and he introduces Rosemary to his co-workers, Artie and Jen. However, they secretly accuse Hal of using the boss's daughter to climb the corporate ladder. Meanwhile, Mauricio notices Hal working out and gets worried his friend is falling for unattractive women. He insults Rosemary's appearance, leading Hal to accuse Mauricio of being afraid of commitment. Soon after, Hal and Rosemary go on a double date with Walt and Nurse Peeler, who actually looks beautiful to Hal despite her mean personality. At an inn, they run into Rosemary's handsome ex-boyfriend, Ralph, making Hal instantly insecure. Meanwhile, Mauricio tracks down Tony Robbins and learns Hal was hypnotized to only see inner beauty. Fearing Hal is ruining his life, Mauricio gets the trigger phrase, "Shallow Hal wants a gal." On a restaurant date, Rosemary reveals Ralph wants her to join him on a mission in Kiribati. When a booth breaks, Hal steps away to talk to the manager and gets a call from Mauricio, who blurts out the trigger phrase. Instantly, the spell breaks. Hal returns to the table and is horrified to find a large woman sitting in Rosemary's place, completely failing to recognize his girlfriend. Mauricio rushes in and drags Hal away, and Hal's illusions completely shatter when he runs into Katrina and sees her actual appearance. Desperate to avoid Rosemary without revealing the truth, Hal uses an excuse when she knocks on his door, while Mauricio covers Hal's eyes with petroleum jelly to fake a case of conjunctivitis. Days pass, and Mr. Shanahan demands to know why Hal is ghosting his daughter. Struggling to find Tony Robbins to reverse the spell, Hal takes his neighbor Jill out to dinner just to stop her from bothering him. Rosemary spots them holding hands from across the restaurant. Heartbroken, she walks away, and Hal fails to recognize her when they cross paths near the payphone. 5 days later, Mr. Shanahan tells Hal to stay away from Rosemary, revealing she accepted a Peace Corps assignment and got back together with Ralph. Hal rushes to the hospital to find her, but she has already left. There, he encounters Cadence, a young burn victim, and finally realizes how shallow he has been. Soon after, Mauricio admits his own toxic behavior stems from a physical defect, a vestigial tail. Hal assures him it is no big deal, and they race to the Peace Corps office. Hal finally sees Ralph and realizes the guy isn't attractive at all, and Ralph reveals he isn't even invited to Rosemary's farewell party. Hal and the crew crash the gathering, where a confused Hal accidentally kisses the housekeeper. He immediately delivers a heartfelt apology to Rosemary in front of everyone, professing his love. Though Rosemary is leaving for Kiribati that night, Hal announces he has been sworn into the Peace Corps to join her. Overjoyed, they share a kiss. Hal tries to carry her, but Rosemary lovingly lifts him into the car instead, and they drive off together. Meanwhile, Mauricio meets a fellow dog lover and happily wags his tail as they head out for a drink. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel out.